Hello and welcome back once again to Shed Wars and our beginner gardening bed. It is doing very interesting. This is August now. We recently had a fair amount of rain, so everything is going to grow like crazy now. We've had two, we can call it unfortunate issues. But I'm going to bring you in close and we'll work our way up the bed and you'll see. We'll start here. The black oil sunflowers. And here's our peas. I don't remember what kind of pea I planted here. Do you guys remember? But pods are coming on now. The sunflowers over that side are growing better because, of course, they get more light. And it looks like there's a little bud starting on that one. I'll bring you out. See, here's our potatoes. They're growing nicely. Yukon Gold, I believe it was, I put there. The plants don't really grow very tall for Yukon Gold, but they put out very delicious potatoes. Now, as you know, we put the beets fairly close to the potatoes. And once again, I'm going to clip back the potato leaves here, pull up this dandelion, and just leave the leaves there on the ground so that they're still shading the ground, but they're not shading the beets. Just like that. Now when the sun goes a little further, they'll get plenty of light. These cucumbers they are bush crop. Oh, I can see one. Just a minute here. So right there, there's a flower bud starting there. And there are flower buds on the fir one as well, the one that's actually doing much better than that one. So that'll be flowering very soon. We have plenty of time to get cucumbers from these. Here's the beans. I believe it was Jacob's Cattle, or it might be Soldier, but they produce about the same here in Newfoundland's climate. You see there's a pod already starting to grow there, so that one's been fertilized, and there's quite a few flowers on each one of them. Oh, here's another couple of pods growing right here, so they're coming along nicely. And remember, I separated out the lettuce so that there was a space there. Neither lettuce was touching its neighbor. So now they've grown up and they're touching each other all again now. But it's midday, so they're fairly soft. When you harvest lettuce, it's better to do it first thing in the morning so that they're nice and plump with the moisture. As the day goes by and the temperature goes up, the leaves get really soft, and when you bring them in, if I cut that now and brought it in, it would last no time. I seen the cabbage moth flying around yesterday, I believe it was, and with turnip and rutabaga, I mentioned this before. A few holes in the leaves, nothing to worry about. Usually they can outgrow them, outgrow the damage done by the worms of the cabbage moth, that is. And they are coming along. I'll bring you down here. You see? They are enlarging, so it won't be too long now before we'll be able to get the turnip from this little patch we have here. This was one of the things I was talking about. Every one of the spinach, you see, these are going to be flowers. So that's what they call bolting. They've gone to flower. The nice thing about spinach is that even if they do bolt, they don't go bitter. But we had hot weather back, we had August temperatures in the last of May. So, and we were a little late planting these. That's what I was mentioning about all the heat. And we've had some things bolt. I am actually surprised that the lettuce didn't bolt, because lettuce usually can't take as high as temperatures as the Swiss chard will. I mean spinach will. Swiss chard, I found, can take a lot of heat. If the temperatures were a little lower, this would be growing better. But as for bolting, you'd have to have high temperatures for a long time. Here's our kohlrabi. I don't see any that's starting to bulb up yet. The plants themselves are doing nicely. Once again, they're a cold crop, so you will get the occasional leaf with some damage from the cabbage moth caterpillar. And here was our other casualty of the heat, our radishes. Instead of enlarging, they bolted. Let them go all the way to seed. Collect the seed and make sprouts over the winter. So when it comes to making sprouts, you don't even have to worry about whether or not they've been crossed. Radish sprouts are delicious on sandwiches. So if you get this condition where, oh well, I didn't get my radishes, all is lost, no, let them go all the way to seed. I will show you another one with the seed pods on. We are up on the west side of the sunny plot now, and I'm going to see if I can get a picture of this moth. No, it's going to be difficult. But if you've seen that white moth, that's the cabbage moth. And when your radishes go to seed, these will be your seed pods. And they will dry, and the seed will rattle inside. So you wait until this stalk is dried. You can break open the pods, collect all the seed, and then during the winter when you want to do your sprouts, you can make a batch of radish sprouts. First I'll dip you in. Here's our 42 days tomato. That's a beautiful looking tomato. He's going to be really good when he's ripe. And you have several going through here. I'm quite happy with how this tomato has grown here. It seems like in our longer days, in a bright spot, that the tomato plants grow stockier. I don't know if that's, like I say, because of the longer days or the soil or what yet. I'm going to have to do some research on that. We'll walk along. Here's your first bed as a new gardener. And if you've had time, by now you would have maybe made a couple other beds and either planted them out or had them ready for next year. But your first bed did well. And you're ready for next year. So you remember that the spinach had bolted, so you want to plant the spinach as early as possible. That's one thing you've learned. And the radishes, they will bolt in the heat as well. So you want to get them growing in cool weather. And we'll see you in the next video.